You know, in our race for efficiency, we've built these incredible systems that are absolute masters of data. But in the process, they often miss something far more valuable, and that's judgment. So today, we're not talking about just another tool for managing information. We are going to explore a new kind of architecture, one designed for preserving and scaling an organization's most precious asset, its practical wisdom. To really understand this architecture, we first have to understand the architect. And this is a story that doesn't start in a typical boardroom. It starts in a life that was lived across very different disciplines, a journey that created the unique perspective needed to see what was missing all along.
This quote, it just perfectly captures the spirit behind the context method and its founder, Lawrence LaFerla. It really speaks to this rare ability to hold two seemingly opposite worlds in perfect balance: the world of deep, philosophical thinking and the world of raw, creative, and expressive energy.
What's so fascinating here is how these completely different paths all converge to forge one single powerful method. You know, the rhythm of the stage, it taught him pattern and flow. Academia, that gave him the language for practical wisdom. And then, for over 3 decades in Japan, the discipline of transcreation, which is adapting not just words, but the deep meaning and intent behind them, well, that turned all that theory into a daily, rigorous practice. This is where that powerful cross-domain pattern recognition comes from.
This unique history created what you can only really call a boundary spanner, someone who is just as comfortable bridging the world of creativity and commerce as they are bridging Eastern and Western thought or academic theory and the real lived experience of just getting things done. And it's from this very specific vantage point that a universal problem became crystal clear.
And this perspective reveals the core challenge that pretty much every modern organization is facing right now. We are drowning in data, we're optimized with processes, and yet we're experiencing this quiet crisis, the slow, steady erosion of sound, contextual judgment.
This question, it gets right to the heart of it. Work slop. You know what that is. It's that generic, kind of soulless output from systems that have been fed tons of information but have zero understanding of the intent, the nuance, or the why behind the work. It's what happens when we prioritize data over wisdom, and it shows up everywhere. Misaligned marketing, generic strategies, and a company culture that just slowly loses its unique point of view. To really get our arms around this crisis, we need a better way to think about knowledge itself. And the ancient philosopher Aristotle actually gave us a fantastic model. He talked about episteme, that's theoretical knowledge, the what. AI is great at that. Then there's techne, that's technical skill, the how. Automation handles that beautifully. But the third one, phronesis, this is practical wisdom. It's that subtle, situational ability to make the right call in the right context. It's the why. And that is the piece our systems just can't touch. So this is the diagnosis. We have built these brilliant systems for episteme and techne, but our organizations are fundamentally missing the phronesis layer. We've just failed to build a discipline for capturing and scaling the very practical wisdom where all the true value is created and where real competitive advantage is found.
The solution, then, isn't just another piece of software. It's a new discipline, one that's embodied in a system designed not to replace human judgment, but to reflect it, to refine it, and ultimately to amplify it.
The philosophical key that unlocks all of this is hermeneutics, the formal discipline of interpretation. This is the rigorous practice that allows us to move beyond just asking our systems what they know and start teaching them to understand why we know it.
And that idea perfectly illustrates the function of the Context Intelligence Portal. It's not a database you query for facts. It's an interpretive mirror. It's designed to reflect an organization's own reasoning back to itself, making the implicit logic of its best judgments explicit, visible, and most importantly, transferable.
Now, I want to be really clear. This is not some kind of plug-and-play solution. It absolutely demands commitment. The proof of concept for this was built on a 200-hour semantic apprenticeship, which is basically a deep, guided conversation between the founder and the system to externalize decades of personal judgment. It's a practice, not a product.
So let's draw the contrast as clearly as we can. A traditional knowledge base, it's a static library of facts. It stores the what. The Context Intelligence Portal, on the other hand, is a living archive of judgment. It surfaces reasoning. It preserves the invaluable why that drives every single critical decision you make. So, what does this new capability, this ability to preserve judgment, actually allow you to do? Let's walk through 10 key areas where having this phronesis layer becomes a decisive advantage for an organization.
Okay, so let's look at where this really comes to life. This phronesis layer, it has profound implications. For AI, it means truly aligning models with your core principles. For your brand, it's about stewarding its authentic voice. Think about high-stakes moments like executive onboarding or M&A integration. This ensures the deep why is transferred. It clarifies market entry strategies, it secures the wisdom of your leaders for succession planning, and it even provides the foundational principles for a coherent crisis response. In every single one of these areas, it's judgment, not just data, that makes all the difference.
So as you can see, this is so much more than a framework. It's really an invitation to a different kind of practice, one that's grounded in a deep commitment to clarity and to genuine transformation.
This principle is really at the very heart of the method. If you want to build a mirror for your organization's judgment, it requires a kind of radical honesty about what you believe and why you believe it. There can be no hiding from your own assumptions if you truly, truly want to grow.
And so, I'll leave you with this one question. In an age where information is just a commodity and processes can all be automated, the quality of your judgment is your final, sustainable advantage. So how are you treating that asset? Is it just evaporating every time a key employee walks out the door? Or are you building a living archive to carry it into the future?